Okay, welcome everybody to the first technical slot of this event. In this session, I, together with my colleague Rahul, will tell you about how IONOS, how we are protecting our cloud platform from DDoS attacks. Maybe let me start with a minute about myself. I'm now with for more than 20 years with the company. I started as a network engineer, then moved into the data center realm, and currently I'm co-leading the division of Tech Ops, technical operations, and we are taking care of running and developing the platforms of IONOS. I must say it's really a pleasure and an honor because it means every day to work with an amazing group of people that are really capable to keep large-scale platforms running and also secure, which is really important. I'm responsible for three main areas in Tech Ops, which is on the first hand, I'm responsible with my team, of course, for the engineering and the operation of the data centers. So globally, we have roughly 20 to 30 data centers, of which the biggest ones we build and we operate ourselves. The second pillar is the networks. So we run the data center networks and also the wide area networks. And the third part is the information security coordination for the entire IONOS, but also other significant parts of United Internet. So let me run quickly through the agenda. There will be 4 parts. So I will briefly initially describe what DDoS is all about. Then I will describe what the 2 main puzzle pieces, the main 2 ingredients are, why I think that IONOS is in an ideal position to defend itself. And in the 4th point, my colleague Rahul will fill you into the details of the DDoS, IONOS DDoS Protect product. So what is a DDoS? I must admit I was not terribly creative. I went to Wikipedia and copy and pasted what I felt were the key parts. Maybe before looking into the details, when talking about information security, there are 3 main goals. So you want to protect the confidentiality, the integrity, and the availability of information, of data and system. And here, with this kind of attacks, the key goal is to actually disturb the availability of information. So here, the attack consists of many requests, superfluous requests, so they don't have to make a whole lot of sense. And it's all about overloading the system with these kinds of requests so that the system cannot fulfill its legitimate, its normal purpose. And in a distributed denial of service attack, you are facing these kinds of requests not only from one source, but basically from a lot of sources can basically be a global effect. So as you can see, as much as we love and like the internet, when you go deeper into the infrastructure, the internet is not a theme park. It's not Candyland. It's a huge system where a lot of business is happening, and where a lot of business is happening, of course, there's a lot of criminal energy. And of course, it's our job to keep the platforms alive, to keep the applications alive, and to protect the data of all our customers. So what is the first key ingredient, how we as IONOS can protect the platforms and the applications, is that we run our own backbone. So that means we do not just use the internet, we are actually a part of the internet. So for the last 20 years, I, together with the Backbone team and a lot of colleagues, have been building and maintaining a real significant part of the internet. And you can see here on the map that this covers a significant part of Europe and reaches deep into the US, where we also own and run data centers. What are key properties of that backbone? So we are in 11 locations at the moment. So just FYI, whatever numbers I show you, they typically change a lot. So it just gives you an idea. And here it shows that in many metro areas, in many cloud regions, we actually run several so-called points of presence where we have backbone routers that connect to other network operators in the internet. So in total, we're talking about thousands of other networks that we connect by even more thousands of so-called BGP sessions. So we exchange routing informations with all these operators and announce which IP addresses of the internet we take care of and provide connectivity to. What is important with regards to DDoS? I mean, you can imagine that if you have one link, one big pipe to the internet, and you're getting attacked, that is quite a concentrated attack. And you have to take it all in one pipe in one go. And one of the key features by which we operate with this backbone with regards to DDoS is that we have the chance to face DDoSes in a very distributed way. So in the end, the attacker is distributed and we face it in a distributed way. So we kind of defend ourselves a little bit with the same methods that we actually get attacked to. So that means that the attack traffic in big events is typically entering our networks in many different geographically distributed places, which, based on the divide and conquer principle, also makes it easier for us to actually handle the attack. So distribution helps a lot. And since we run a widespread backbone, it also gives us early access to the traffic. So basically, the attack traffic comes via typically an access provider. That access provider interfaces with us. And so we already get the attack traffic way before it actually hits our data centers. And those two parts are really important. So if you do not have your own backbone, you cannot face a distributed attack in a distributed way because you do not have the physical footprint, the geographic footprint, and you cannot kind of handle the attack traffic in a very early stage. So that is the first significant puzzle piece that enables us to face DDoS attacks in a very good way. But that alone doesn't do it. I mean, I was thinking back, and I think we faced the first DDoS attacks 15 years ago, and it was one of these effects where, I mean, we had never seen a DDoS before, and suddenly, the cell phones go off, you see alarms, and systems are not reachable anymore, and you look into the monitoring system, and you just see traffic coming in from everywhere, and you see, oh damn, what am I doing now? And at the time, so 15 years ago, we did what we had to do. We had to ground the traffic. So we were able to figure out what IP address got attacked, and we couldn't do anything else but essentially filtering that IP and what is called black holing the traffic, so that customer in the end was not reachable anymore. So it helped us in a way to protect the other customers in our infrastructure. But of course, this is not like we want to do our job. Our job is not to help the attacker take down the target, but to keep it alive. And that essentially led over the last really couple of years to the development of our own DDoS defense platform. So what is this about? The DDoS defense platform takes advantage of our distributed nature of the backbone, and we essentially install so-called scrubbing centers at the edge of the backbone. So to be able to really get the attack traffic as soon as it enters our networks, as soon as it hits the first backbone routers, we have the chance to really get the traffic, reroute it, analyze it, and clean it. And we do this by so-called scrubbing centers. We have 8 globally distributed scrubbing centers in 4 countries, and we can at the moment deal with an attack capacity of roughly 1 terabits per second. And these are really huge attacks already. And it doesn't end actually with 1 terabit. So 1 terabit is what the scrubbing centers can handle. And I will show you later that the scrubbing centers are just at the center of the defense, but we also take advantage of our backbone to clean and prevent actually then attack traffic to enter the scrubbing centers. Maybe to show this in a picture. On the left-hand side, you can see the users. On the lower side, you can see a user with the green line. So that is how traffic typically flows. So in green, everything is good. And then on the upper part, you see, okay, there is a mix of legitimate users and of attackers. And well, the problem is now how to separate the good traffic from the bad traffic. And what we do here is we have pretty much a data analysis system that analyzes the traffic flows or the metadata of the traffic flows all the time. That means we constantly pull all the information from routers via streaming telemetry, analyze it, and basically look for anomalies. And if we detect such an anomaly, that is when we trigger the backbone by means of route advertisement to not deliver the traffic in a regular way to the data center, but to deliver it to these globally distributed scrubbing centers. These scrubbing centers then, in a nutshell, analyze the traffic, clean the traffic. That is the red part entering it, and the green dotted part is what the scrubbing center considers a good traffic, and that is then getting delivered to the data center. And as I mentioned, this is really happening in a distributed way. So whenever we're getting attacked, these scrubbing centers in all countries at the same time get activated, and the attack traffic, where and when it enters our backbone, gets rerouted to the scrubbing centers in a distributed way. And that's really the magic and the power of this defense platform. I would assume this is still too high level, so let me take you one step further down into the technical detail. So how in a nutshell does a scrubbing center look like? So on the left-hand side, you can see the backbone router, which is connected. So that's the first round symbol that is connected by 100 gigabits or more to a router of the scrubbing center. And then inside that scrubbing center, you can basically see this as we have several washing programs, and based on the analysis and the classification of the attack, we can then route the dirty traffic, as we call it here, or the mixed traffic via several stages of analysis, classification, cleaning, scrubbing. And then in the end, the cleaned traffic gets routed back again and then gets delivered to the data center and to the customer. Maybe just to give you an idea how a big attack looks like. So this was an attack that had a volume of 175 gigabits per second and 40 million packets per second. And that was a classic LDAP and DNS reflection attack. And we see that really these kinds of attacks on a regular base. The attack got automatically detected and routed to the GSP, that's the global scrubbing platform. And essentially, we cleaned the attack traffic from 175 gigabits to 20 megabits, which was the regular traffic. And the customer was completely happy and was kept alive. It does not always have to be that big, so maybe look at something a little bit smaller here. That was an FTP attack of 18 gigabits, which we scrubbed down to 35 megabits. And you can see that we are analyzing these attacks, classify them based on where they're coming from, countries, what kind of protocols there are, what ports there are, etc. And in the end, the key challenge is not actually to filter and drop traffic, of course, but the analysis part is the part where the magic sauce in the end is in. So the final slide, I want to give you kind of a peek under the hood, what kind of technologies we use for that. The system is homegrown. So this is not like we went into a shop and bought a nice piece of technology. It's basically a system that we developed ourselves inside the company. So, and we really took, I would say, amazingly ordinary pieces like x86 servers, so standard servers, standard routers, and the magic really comes by the way we engineered the whole system, how we put it together. We are using a lot of or it's actually all open source based on Debian Linux, the virus distribution, where we actually also contribute code to. We use pfSense, free-range routing, and GoBGP for routing parts, FluentD for logging and analysis, etc. And we, of course, do a lot of DevOps magic to deploy code updates, etc. So, and I think that's kind of already brings me to the end of the technical part. And I hope you get the idea that our expectation to ourselves is really that we want to own the technology, we want to own the platform, we want to develop it further. We do not want to go shopping and be fine with being able to call somebody to help us. DDoS is really a duty of a cloud provider these days, and it's absolutely our ambition is that you do not see anything, and that if you consume our platform, but that we rather tell you after the fact what we did for you. And of course, that is a challenge that is never ending. And for that reason, whoever feels that this is something that he wants to be part of, this is something that he likes to push the boundaries and to take up the battle against the attackers, we are hiring. We are constantly looking for really good and creative people. So if you're interested, please let us know. Go to jobs.ionos.com or contact me directly. We're eager to get more energy to defend ourselves. And with that, I hand over to Rahul.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to IONOS Cloud Up. I hope you all are having a great time. I would like to start by saying thanks to Stefan. That was, a really detailed explanation and a peek into our backend systems and how efficient they are in tackling DDoS. And I guess by now you guys already have a fair idea of how resilient our DDoS systems are and how good they are at protecting you from DDoS attacks. I would like to take a couple of minutes to introduce myself first. I am Rahul. I am a product manager at IONOS, and I am responsible for all things product, basically everything related to a product, right from conception to delivery. And I am a IS and PaaS enthusiast and have been working in the cloud industry for the past 8 years, and with an urge to learn something new every day. So today I'm going to walk you through the product details of our IONOS DDoS product. It is called IONOS DDoS Protect. And IONOS, let me give you the standard definition first. So IONOS DDoS Protect is a managed DDoS defense mechanism which ensures that your IONOS hosted IT infrastructure remains secure and resilient to DDoS attacks. The service is already available in most of our data centers. So like and the service comes in two variants. These are basically two service tiers. The first one is DDoS Protect Basic. This is free of charge and enabled by default for all IONOS customers. So this is already available, and pretty much all our customers in our data centers are already protected by this basic protection. It doesn't need any added configuration. It's already there for you and taking care of the basic protection. The next one is DDoS Protect Advanced, is a paid premium service. It comes with advanced defense measures and proactiveness. And I would like to walk you through them a little more in detail. So these are the features. The first one is the defense mechanism is based on scrubbing platforms, like Stefan explained, and they are based on this filtering mechanism. So in event of an DDoS attack, the traffic is routed through these scrubbing platforms, or what they basically do is they filter the ingenuine dirty DDoS traffic and still let through the clean genuine traffic to the original destination. And this basically makes sure that your services are up and running even while there is a DDoS attack ongoing. It's the second one is always on attack detection by default. So the attack detection is always on, and it keeps scanning for DDoS attacks round the clock. And whenever there is an event where there is an attack, it does raise an alarm. The next one is automatic mitigation. The platform itself is intelligent enough to not be dependent on manual intervention and can trigger the basic mitigation right on identification of an attack. The next one is common layer 3 and layer 4 protection. So basically, you are always protected against network and transport layer DDoS attacks, which pretty much forms about 97 to 98% of the overall DDoS attacks. So everything that I spoke about so far is part of both the tiers, and as you might have already figured out, everything that follows is part of only the DDoS advanced tier. So what comes with the DDoS advanced tier? The first one is you have access to a 24/7 DDoS expert support. This is a set of 3 levels of support teams working in tandem to help our customers with their DDoS attacks and related queries. The third level team consists of DDoS experts who are specifically skilled into taking care of complicated DDoS attacks and are there to help you whenever you need them. The next one is proactive support and instant notifications. Our approach to DDoS support here is proactive. So we're not waiting for the customer to identify an attack and get to us. Rather, we are trying to proactively look into the customer's network, identify attacks, and start working on resolving them even before the customer probably is aware of it, and also sending them a notification so that they are aware that we are working on the resolution and they can rest assured. The next one is on-demand IP-specific DDoS filtering. This is a very interesting feature that comes in really handy if you anticipate an DDoS attack in future. For example, let's say you are an online retailer and you have an end of season sale 2 days down the line, and you think that you could be a soft target of a DDoS attacker, and there are really good chances that you could have a DDoS attack during that time. In that case, you could call us up and let us know the IPs that you want us to protect, and we would specifically force DDoS identification and mitigation on these IPs to make sure that your service stays up and running no matter what. The next one is an on-demand attack diagnosis. So as much as it is important to mitigate a DDoS attack, it's equally important to be aware about what are the kinds of DDoS attacks that you have been facing, the nature, the patterns, and all of the relevant details, so that you can be more prepared and resilient in the future to these DDoS attacks, because there's always a high probability of having a repeated DDoS attack on the same infrastructure and the same set of IPs. And this diagnosis helps you basically understand what have been the kind of attacks, the patterns, and any other details that you might be interested in. We try to go an extra mile and try to give you every bit of detail possible. So that's about it. So these are the two service tiers that are available to our customers, and the DDoS Protect Basic is free of charge. It's already available. DDoS Protect Advanced is a paid premium service, and you can get in touch with us to learn more about it. So that's how the product looks like. We keep striving forward to make it better every day. We are fully committed to making sure that our customer services are up and running all the while, and they can focus on their business while we take care of your DDoS attacks and any other queries or issues for that matter. So that's pretty much it from my side. I would like to thank you all for joining and please stay with us, and there are more interesting sessions coming up. I will now switch over to the Q&A session, where you are most welcome to ask us questions or give us any feedback that you would like to. Thank you.
So we're happy to answer questions. So I have the first one. So is the DDoS protection available for dedicated servers? Yes, it is. So the dedicated servers are part of the protection scheme. When an attack happens, is there added latency? Yes, as you can imagine, we're trying to keep the latency to an absolute minimum by actually we do not reroute the attack traffic big ways, but it's a very local handling that's happening. But of course, we are routing it through extra stages. But I do not believe it's something that you will see as a critical delay. Is it possible that bad traffic sometimes gets through the protection? Yes. So I think I would lie to you if I say this is a perfect system. So of course our goal is to scrub as much as we can, and I think the system is getting better every day. But there is no guarantee that no bad packet can hit your system in the end. But I think we reached our goal when we scrubbed the traffic amount to a degree that your system in the end can deal with it with its resources. I hope that was helpful. Any other questions? And I think until the next question comes in, you can imagine this is really a constant fight of attackers against defenders. I mean, the attackers get more creative; they come up with new attacks, and of course, it's our job to keep up, to learn as soon as possible, as fast as possible, and tune the system so they always kind of that we stay up to the challenge, and yeah, I can promise you that we take this very, very serious. Any other questions? Doesn't look like it.
Yep.
So I hope this means you all have been enjoying the talk and that we did not lose you.
Yeah, and even if you missed and you have any further questions, we would still be live in the event platform. You can reach to us
Yeah.
via direct chats, and we are happy to help you out all day.
How long does it take? There's one more question. So how long does it take that the protection kicks in? I would say at this is also something that we optimize constantly. I would say at the moment we're still in the range of minutes, so not 10 minutes, not 5 minutes, but I would say 0 to 5 minutes. But we are constantly improving that. I mean, one of the first steps that we did is go more to streaming telemetry. That means we do not just pull every couple of minutes what is happening inside the routers, but we really get a constant feed of flow data from the system, so we can pretty much detect any attacks as soon as possible. Okay, cool. I think our slot is over. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Have a nice
if you have
time.
any questions, join us at the event stage. Bye. See you.
Bye.